In 7 News Flashback, Christmas in Queensland. Rewinding the clock back to 1979, late night shopping was a new experience, but customers still face plenty of frustration.
Brisbane, 1979. And traffic is stopped by a donkey.
They closely followed the three wise men as they brought gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh to celebrate the birth of Jesus. A carefully constructed stable in the square housed the young baby, her mother the Virgin Mary and her husband Joseph.
Mary might have travelled by donkey, but Queenslanders were more likely to jump on a greyhound.
All Brisbane bus lines have been swamped with customers seeking tickets on the southern-bound coaches.
And thousands were making the Christmas dash by modern jet from Brisbane Airport.
Both domestic carriers, Ansett and TAA, scheduled almost 60 extra arrivals and departures today to cope with the huge Christmas rush. Yesterday, the two airlines carried more than 11,000 people.
Now, it's more like 50,000 passengers. And back then, just like today, we had troops away from home at Christmas.
124 soldiers from field force units throughout Australia headed for Rhodesia today on ceasefire monitoring programs. The soldiers will monitor the ceasefire and elections leading up to Rhodesia's independence.
In 1979, Christmas shopping was a little different in Brisbane. Nighttime shopping was still a novelty. On the shopping list, dump trucks for kids, brute for dad and jewellery for mum. Some customers were shopping by candlelight because of a power dispute. And before automatic teller machines, if the bank was shut, you were stuck.
The street hawkers took over the steps of some banks where a few angry customers turned up today unaware of their closure. They said the public hadn't had enough warning and consequently they would have to scrimp over the Christmas break.
Some things haven't changed. Animals were dumped in their droves at Christmas. Meals were cooked for the poor, and kids in hospital weren't forgotten.
The Christmas cheer came in the form of Humphrey B. Bear. These children are some of the 84 who will spend Christmas in the Royal Children's Hospital.
Children were the focus of the Queen's message, which was a bigger deal back then.
At Christmas, we give presents to each other. Let us also stop to think whether we are making enough effort to pass on our experience of life to our children.
But keeping in touch with overseas loved ones was a tough affair.
The exchange was working to full capacity to cater for the huge flood of calls. Many callers were forced to wait for up to 3 hours before they could get through to the exchange and be connected overseas. But they were the lucky ones. The spokesman for the Overseas Telecommunications Commission said they just weren't able to cope with the demand and literally thousands of callers couldn't be connected overseas.
And if you did get through, it came at a hefty price.
And at rates of $6 for 3 minutes call to the United Kingdom and $6.60 for a 3 minutes call to Europe and the United States, Telecom appears set to improve on their record profit for the last financial year.
An expensive way to say,
I wish you all a very happy Christmas.